Hello, my name's Dominic James. I am the radio advisor for WHJE, the voice of the Greyhounds. Glad you could be here virtually this evening. So let me give you an idea about the sort of things that a staff member of WHJE is expected to do. In a staff radio class, we have second, third, and fourth years all together in the same class, so that the second years will benefit from the experience of working with seniors. Seniors are mostly all managers, or if they're not managers, they're still expected to lead as well because they're very experienced and they have a lot to offer the younger students. And the managers take on an extra role in their final year. They have real opportunities to show what leaders they can be. And it's a student-run radio station, so we have sports managers and live show managers and events managers and podcast managers, and essentially all people with lots and lots of different responsibilities within the station. And they are people who make the major decisions and lead the other students and give them some direction during the course of the semester. I'm there as an advisor to advise and to remind people how to try to achieve best practice, but really essentially to support the ideas of the senior students. How does it work in practice? Well, there are basically three main departments in the station. There are the podcasters, there are live show broadcasters, and there is a sports department as well. Podcasters tend to do a lot of writing. They tend to interview people and spend a lot of their time editing on doing high quality production. So their work ends up on the WHJE website. Check it out if you haven't recently. Live shows, they take place anytime from 7:45 till about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Students are given FOBs, that is access to the school out of school hours. So not only do they have the responsibility of making sure that their broadcasts fit along with FCC guidelines and school policies and so on, but they're actually given the responsibility of being able to get into the school by themselves, and that's a responsibility we take very, very sensibly, and we ask school students to be very careful with their FOBs and to look after them very carefully at all times. The sports department, they broadcast not just in our stadiums at Carmel High, but they go to away games as well. They travel generally with with student cars. They drive each other around with parental permission. Sometimes we'll get on a school bus as well to games which are a little bit further away. But again, the sports department are given quite a lot of independence as well in order to make those broadcasts. There'll always be a member of staff goes to look after them, support them as well. Usually myself, sometimes Mrs. Ostojic, but it may well be an assistant principal if neither of us are available, which crops up very occasionally. Second years, the people who have kind of just joined staff for the first time, for the first few weeks, for the first quarter, they don't get given too many choices about what they're allowed to do. It's really a reminder of the skills that they learned and acquired during the first year. So there'll be some production tasks like making promos. They all have done a live show already to remind themselves how to get into how to broadcast effectively in the studio. And they've just started their first podcast, which is called Desert Island Discs, where they get to interview somebody in a little bit of depth. It may well be yourselves, but they've asked to do that. So those are the three main areas that they start off with in the first quarter, and at the end of the first quarter, they get to choose which department they want to spend more time in after that, whether it's sports or podcasts or live shows. Some of the second years have already started doing some sports broadcasts. We get them paired up with some more experienced students to begin with, just to give them a taste of what it's like to be doing or calling a game. And people sometimes are terrified by that experience, but most people actually love it. But by the end of the first quarter, they should know which department they want to spend more time in. As well as actually doing that kind of formal classroom work, there are lots of extra things that people can do. We run a lot of events at the radio station. We are a community radio station, so we try to support um, lots of things, lots of initiatives which take place in the community, the school and otherwise. So, for example, in a few weeks' time, we're helping with the Ghosts and Goblins race, which is run by the Educational Foundation. So we'll be out there broadcasting and helping with the PA and stuff like that. We are also we spend a lot of time supporting the dance marathon. We have our own kind of little version of it, supporting it. It's called Rileython. Last year we raised $10,000, extraordinary amount of money. We also spend a lot of time supporting middle schools and elementary schools and some other events. So that gives the students a chance to do DJing and just kind of hosting various events. So as well as being just a broadcaster, all the students get the opportunities to do different sorts of things as well, and try to give back a little bit to the community. In terms of assessment, because all the students are in the same class, so second years, third years, and fourth years, and people from the podcast department and the live show department, the sports department. The way the Power School is set up, it is impossible for me to just put in just the assignments that your son or daughter is actually being allocated. So all the assignments for that particular class actually have to go on to Power School. Now, so that just please be aware they do not have to do every single one of the assignments that crop up on Power School. I blank them out. They don't have to be attempted. So there may be 30 assignments on Power School, but they only have to do 10 of them. So if you are concerned, then please reach out to me, email me if you're not quite sure. If a 0 has gone in, generally speaking, that doesn't mean that they have failed something. It generally means that they have not handed a piece of work in. I would say that's probably the most common reason why students in radio have in different grades at certain times during the course, because there might be great broadcasters, but not all of them always get their work onto the website in time, or their written work into me on time as well. But generally speaking, if students keep up to date, organised with their time deadlines and so on, they should do very well in a radio class. In terms of contacting me, if you want to ask anything specific or ask general questions, my email address at school is djames3@ccs.k. So I'll start that again. djames3@ccs.k12.in.us, or contact me through Canvas as well. That works nice and easily. And I'll try to get back to you within 24 hours if I can. Normally manage to do that. I think that's probably all I need to say for now. I'm looking forward to another great year, and I hope to see some of you at games, or some of you coming in to do interviews in the recording studio and so on. And sometimes we have parents come in to join some live shows. So all the best. Thank you.